Hi Michael, thanks for coming to talk with me about your career path. Let's start with your profession, your current profession.
No worries. I work in the field of arboriculture, which is the management and study of trees. I currently hold the position of Arboriculture Delivery Manager for the Brisbane City Council.
And what does that position role entail?
I look after a group of people who in turn look after individual parts of the business within Arboriculture Brisbane City Council. We oversee tree management, tree protection, plant programmed tree maintenance, tree planting programs, and anything and everything to do with the urban forests of the Brisbane City Council. We work to a budget of about $20 million to look after the urban forest citywide, from all the way from the northern to the southern end of the city of Brisbane.
Nice. And can you let me in on how you got interested in the arboriculture field as your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been interested in the outdoors and being in nature. When I was fresh out of school, living in a share house, I actually had a roommate who was an arborist. He took me out one weekend to show me the tools of his trade and to take me along just for, a bit of fun to climb a tree using harness and ropes and all of the different bits and pieces that he used at work. It really interests me. It was a lot of fun, plus it was working with my hands and in nature, which really interested me. And from there, I looked further into it, did a few bits and pieces of qualifications so that I would be able to be employed within that industry. And once I was working in this industry, continued my studies to gain my trade qualification for arboriculture. And then I spent the next about 12 years as a climbing arborist in the field, physically doing the tree management work, pruning, removing, and in general maintenance of trees for many different things. After a little while of doing that, I decided to further my study and I gained a diploma of arboriculture, which then led me into more senior and leadership roles within the business that I was working for at that time as a consulting arborist, and into a bit more of a leadership style position. Further from that, I also gained qualifications as a trainer assessor and became a trainer assessor within the industry, teaching younger students the basics of the industry to gain their trade qualifications. Beyond which I further became a leader for another small company as the operations manager, which was sort of my first taste of proper management experience within the workplace. And after a little while of doing that, I saw an opportunity with Brisbane City Council, which is obviously an extremely large organisation, and I thought that would be an interesting challenge to undertake. So went for a role there, received the role of the Arboricultural Technical Coordinator, which was one of the positions underneath the position I currently hold, which was looking after the team of consulting arborists who go out and do tree inspections and specify different works and management that will need to be undertaken on those trees. Beyond that, further opportunities come my way to take on the next level up of management leadership role, being the delivery manager of arboriculture.
Nice. And what is important to you about this current work that you do?
Interestingly enough, you get into the industry of arboriculture because you're interested in and have a love of trees. Working in the field, you spend a lot of time actually cutting trees down. So what's really important to me with the position that I currently hold and the few positions that I've held prior to this one is that rather than removing trees, I'm actually really heavily involved in the protection, management and maintenance of trees, making lots of decisions about how and why we can retain trees and even plant additional trees in and around the urban environment of Brisbane City to try and increase the number of trees that we have in the urban environment, which brings with it all sorts of benefits, both culturally, environmentally, and in a lot of other ways that is sometimes not necessarily understood by the general public, but really creating a better Brisbane and a better environment for all of the constituents.
So I can see that your interest in the field and your values align with your current position. What skills and abilities do you believe you hold that helps you in this position?
Sure. So one of the really important things that is a large part of my role is being diplomatic, having strong values, but being able to discuss and work with people to try and find solutions and outcomes that suit lots of people. There's a lot of, I guess, emotion involved with trees, tree management, and oftentimes we deal with some quite complex situations that can be contentious. And so one of the things that I think is really important is being able to be diplomatic, being able to be understanding, but also being able to convey the important information that's required to be understood to then understand why and how we make the decisions we make in managing the urban forest.
And what skills and abilities do you require as your role as a manager, managing a very large team?
Yeah, so I think just positive leadership attributes. So being able to talk to people, but being able to lead by example and show the different teams how and why we want to do what we're doing. Being able to take ownership of the different programs that we put in place, being able to find and utilize different resources and then providing those to the different teams that require it so that they're able to correctly do their jobs as well.